Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me for Sketchbook Sunday, episode 55. I'm working in my moleskine sketchbook as always, and my Gamblin Artist oils. I also prime the pages with gesso so I don't ruin the sketchbook, because this is a drawing sketchbook, not a painting one. Today I wanted to talk about something I get a lot of questions about, and that's whether or not you should quit your job to pursue art or go into art school, and at what point I quit my job or how I did it in general. I made a video highlighting my artist journey from childhood to about 2016, which is when that video was released, and in it I explained everything, just how everything aligned for me in order to be able to do this full time. So if you'd like to see more, if you'd like to know more specific details about that, link will be in the description. Just to quickly summarize how that worked out for me, I was actually working as a waitress, occasionally bartending, while making art on the side and slowly growing my YouTube channel. It was more of a hobby and something I really enjoyed doing in my spare time. I've always done art like my whole life. I was starting to sell some pieces thanks to people finding me on YouTube. I had maybe 3,000 subscribers and I was getting YouTube checks, but it wasn't anywhere near enough to survive off of alone. I wasn't getting enough views. I would get $100 every 4 or 5 months, something like that, and I would occasionally sell pieces, but it wasn't a lot of money. It just kind of helped me put gas in my car, buy some groceries, maybe help pay my car insurance, smaller bills like that here and there. It was a big help at the time, but not something I could fully live off of or rely on. It wasn't anywhere near that at the time. I dropped out of college after 1 year of being in there, and I don't recommend this to people. It's not something I'm proud of. I think there is so much value in education, but I just didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do art, and I wasn't going to go to art school. So you have to know your purpose for being in school, and you can also figure it out while you're in school by taking various classes, but I wasn't there. I was just in school going through the motions. I wasn't passionate about it. So there was no career that I felt super passionate about that school would help me get, except for art, and I wasn't even 100% convinced that I could do that yet. So at the time I just kind of accepted the fate of not really making that much money in life. I was fine with being a bartender and a waitress or whatever part-time and just making my art in my free time. As long as my bills were paid and I had time to make art, I was happy. I never had these grandiose materialistic desires. I've never been a materialistic person, so the thought of not having a huge house or the newest, nicest car didn't bother me. As long as I had a place to live, I didn't care how small it was, as long as I could just live, eat, and all the basic human things. I was happy as long as I could make art, so that's just kind of what I accepted. And I left school to just kind of take a step back and figure my life out and also focus more on my art. However, amazingly enough, my business grew over time, my art business, and I was able to transition into doing just that and living just off my art, and it continues to grow to this day. I also made a video recently all about my 3 main income sources, highlighting where my money comes from and how I just do the whole art thing. But yeah, it wasn't this abrupt decision to quit my job and start my career. I'd already been pursuing my art seriously for 3 years and slowly transitioned into doing it full time. And I've been full time for 6.5 years as of right now. I spent the vast majority of my 20s working on my art business. No two artists are going to have the exact same story. This is just what worked for me. I have a friend who did pursue the academic route, got a degree, had a very well-paying job, and then just quit to start an art career rather than slowly transitioning over time. However, she did have a good chunk of savings to live off of, which I didn't. Hence, I stayed at my job. So it can work very differently for everyone. It just depends on your unique situation. Now, I would never just tell someone to quit their job and drop out of college. Certainly not if you don't have anything to fall back on. Do you have enough money saved to last you 6 months to a year of paying rent and bills and food. There's also no guarantee that your art career will even take off in that time frame. I'm not saying it won't, I'm just saying there's no guarantee. It can take off really quickly for some people. For me, it took like 3 years, and it wasn't 100% of what my time was going to. I had a job, like I said, it was just my part-time thing. Once I did quit, I was able to pursue it full-time. Some people don't even have to do a whole ton of work. There's some rare cases where they just get really extremely lucky on the internet, and the algorithm just propels them to mass audiences, but that's not something you want to gamble on. It's not an idea that you can rely on. You don't know if that's going to happen to you. There's a very tiny chance that it could. It just works differently for everyone. So you have to look at everything logistically. If you do have those savings to last you a year and you just quit, then you have 100% of your time to maximize and put it towards your work, towards building a business. But you need to have that business plan organized and ready to put into action long before you quit. So do lots of research on social media marketing and algorithms, and be ready to put your all into it. You should start on all of this before you even think of leaving your job. And there's nothing wrong with having an art career and also having a day job or a part-time job as a safety net to fall back on while you grow your business. Like I said, I did that for several years while also pursuing my art. It doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're responsible, and you need to make sure to take care of yourself financially so that you don't stress about it while pursuing your art. Because desperation for money is never a good place to create art from, nor is it an uplifting feeling that gets you excited for life. And that is so important for your mindset when you're starting any kind of business. So for that reason, I never advise people to just quit their jobs to pursue art and drop out of college. Like, I do advise a more gradual transition, and definitely have some sort of part-time work to fall back on. Live very frugally and maximize your time for art when you can, because most people don't have wealthy parents to take care of them and pay their rent while they pursue their dreams. And if that's the case for you, then that's cool. Like, maybe it can work out that way for you. You can just drop out, do whatever, parents will help you out, and that's cool. You're really lucky, but that's not the reality for most people. It was certainly not the reality for me. Regarding art school, I also think, which by the way, I have a video all about this, like how I almost went to art school and like why I didn't. So I guess I'll link that video in the description too. But I think it also circles back to where you are in life financially. If you have well-off parents that can afford to pay for your art school tuition and take care of you, if you don't get anywhere as a result, then cool. There's not a lot of risk involved for you. Unlike the medical field, art is not something that requires a degree, and you can learn so many things online or by taking various workshops with different artists. Painting is not something that requires you to go to art school in order to make it into a career, and there's so much proof for this. Not all art schools are created equal. There are some really amazing ones and some that are, I'm just shocked that they're in business. Not all professors are created equal. Some will have all kinds of different ideologies about art and will try to like mold you into another version of them and like believe all their ideas. So it's really just it just depends on so many factors. And again, we're talking about art, which can be very subjective and different. And I could not justify any reason to throw myself into so much debt to go to this prestigious art school and get a degree in something that will not even guarantee me a career. So I just chose not to go and kind of paved my own little path. So those are just my 2 cents for anyone thinking of pursuing an art career. There are many things I can say on the topic. Again, this is just my story and my perspective. Don't take my word as gospel. Anyways, my 2 cents. I'm currently working on Oiltober, creating one small oil painting every single day for all of October. A lot of people are asking if there's a prompt list, and no, there is not. I am not following a prompt. I'm also working on a bunch of pieces and videos outside of the challenge, and I can't be bothered with a prompt. I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing. But I've been posting the pieces I made so far to my Instagram, so be sure to follow me on there if you'd like to keep up with that. And I will also be doing a weekly check-in every week for Oiltober and how that's going, so you can expect the first one in a few days. Let me know if there's anything you would like me to talk about in the next Sketchbook Sunday. I'm wishing you all a beautiful and inspiring day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, everyone!